Are you sick and tired of mac and cheese cups and grilled cheeses? Well, let's make red pesto chicken orzo. Now that we know what we're cooking, let's get into our ingredients and how we can make this cost effective as a college student. You're gonna need orzo. You can usually get this in about a 4-serving box for 98 cents. You're gonna need 1 cup of that, so you can use this later on for other recipes. You're gonna need 2 to 3 chicken breasts, which is about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds, just depending on size. You can easily get a 3-pound, 5-pound, 8-pound bag of frozen chicken. This is my option, but if you wanna get more fresh chicken, price will probably go up a little bit just because of convenience. You're gonna need a jar of pesto. So I chose red pesto for this, but you can also get basil pesto, which is just the green pesto, or there's yellow pesto, which is like a lemony. It just depends on what you're feeling personally. Looking about $2.45 per jar, and you only need half this jar, so you can use this for any other time that you wanna make pasta. You're gonna need a little jug of olive oil. This will be $5.94, so on the more expensive end of everything we need, but this lasts you a long time. You're only gonna need 2 tablespoons of this, and I personally use this to cook my chicken, steaks, anything along those lines, just to get a nice crust to it and to also help saute your onions, garlic. You're gonna need seasoning, so I use garlic powder, paprika, salt and pepper, and then a little Italian seasoning just depending on what I'm cooking. You can get these for about $1 each, pretty cheap. You're gonna need chicken broth, which usually come in about 4-cup containers. You're looking at about $1.50 for that. You're only gonna need half of it. So again, you can make this meal again if you want to, or plenty of recipes that involve chicken broth. You're gonna need 1 onion, 50 to 75 cents, and you're only gonna need a quarter of this or half of this, so you can save it for a later meal. You're more than welcome to do that. And then last, you're gonna need minced garlic. This is just to add some extra flavor. You can get a small jar of this from anywhere $2 to $3. It'll last you a while because you're really only using a scoop of it at a time. So now that we know what ingredients we need, let's get to our prep work. So we're gonna go ahead and dice up that onion. Once you get those done, you're gonna go up and set those off to the side. Now that we've diced up our onion, it's time to cube our chicken. So you want to try to get nice and even cubes to where they're all about the same size. You don't want to have any issue with having some pieces be cooking slower. And once you're done with that, you should have nice even cubes, and it's time to season them. Now that our chicken's all cubed, it's time to season it. So again, this is all to your preference. I think more is better, but you might not. Go in with salt, then go in with some pepper, and then go in with garlic powder. This is a strong spice, so be easy with it. You don't want to overpower it so much that you don't want to eat the chicken. Last, I go in with some paprika. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix this all together, make sure it's evenly coated. And then last second, I did decide to add a little Italian seasoning because I figured, hey, pasta, sauce, this will work. And now it's time to cook. Go ahead and throw about a tablespoon of olive oil in your pan, medium heat, let it warm up, throw your chicken in. Evenly spread it around your pan so you don't have any issues with cooking. And then you're going to let that cook for a while. Once your chicken starts to look like this, you're gonna go ahead and flip it. Then we have about 2 or 3 minutes or so, and then we're gonna check a piece of chicken, make sure it's cooked the whole way through. You see pink, that's bad. Go ahead and clear it. So then you're gonna go ahead and throw it in your bowl, go ahead and put it in the microwave. Now that our chicken's done, let's start on pasta. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the olive oil, warm it up, throw our onions in there, we're gonna let them saute a little bit. This takes a couple minutes, so be patient. You want them to get to a translucent color. Once they simmer, we're gonna go ahead and throw in our minced garlic. Do the same thing with that, stir it up, and then again, let it come to a simmer before we go ahead in with our orzo. So the orzo itself, you're gonna wanna make sure you have it nice and coated with the olive oil, mixed in with the onions, mixed in with the garlic. Just gonna let it get to a nice little toast before you go ahead and add your chicken broth in. This is quick, so don't walk away. Go ahead and add in your 2 cups of chicken broth. Keep it on hand though, you might need a little bit more depending on how your pasta's cooking. At the same time we add in the chicken broth, we're gonna add in the half jar of pesto. So now go ahead and make sure you have that all mixed up, and then we'll have this as our result. We're gonna go ahead and cover it and let it come to a simmer. So it'll take a couple minutes, just like water boiling. Make sure you're stirring it or else you're gonna burn your pasta, and nobody wants that. As you can tell, once you keep stirring it, it's gonna start to take a little bit, but your pasta is gonna keep cooking, and eventually this broth is gonna come down to a small amount, like so. And go ahead and give it a taste test, see if you like the noodles the way they are, and if you do, throw that chicken back in. Go ahead and make sure it's nice and stirred up. And you should come to a result like this, and if you're happy with it, go ahead and start putting it in a bowl or a plate. Again, all your preference. So what I went with, and once you've eaten it all, go ahead and throw it in some leftover containers, and you have 2 or 3 more meals, at a pretty efficient cost.